Hello, everybody. Apologies for the delay. Welcome back to Miami Total Football Radio, the show, also known as Miami Total Football Radio, the show. Alonso, I can hear myself echoing in your AirPods. Sorry for
Oh
the
yeah.
delay, folks. Alonso Contreras, our co-host here, joining me, Franco Panizo, was having some technical difficulties with his sound. Um, so yes, that's what was happening for those of you that were patiently waiting in the comments section. Um,
No budget, no
Alonso,
budget.
no budget. Alonso, thank you for your time. First off, I want to say before I ask you how you're doing and all that good stuff, I want to say thank you for your pollo because Alonso Contreras is a man of his word. He paid his debt. We made a friendly wager here on Miami Total Football Radio several weeks ago with regards to Inter Miami versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. Alonso said that he thought Inter Miami would go through in that series, but they did not. Inter Miami was eliminated, as I predicted. And we bet un pollo a la brasa, which is Peruvian rotisserie chicken. Alonso paid his debt Sunday before the Inter Miami versus Orlando City game. There we are. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely hungover from partying. From partying the night before because I had celebrated my birthday with my friends in Wynwood. So there's Alonso and I. Alonso looking sharp, ready for the game, and I look very, very hungover with my hair all over the place. So more importantly, you can see el pollo a la brasa. So Alonso, thank you for your pollo. And how are you doing, man? Are you good now? Are you okay? You feeling all right, bro? You had some. I'm not even joking, guys. He had some pretty interesting and startling PTSD. Because if you don't know, Alonso is um, a former member of the military that served in the war. And at the restaurant, the Peruvian restaurant we went to, there was like, those silver, those silver pots. I don't know if you call them pots or bowls. And whenever they clanked, Alonso would. He was very startled. It was he even acknowledged that he's like, yeah, I think I have PTSD still. So, but Alonso, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, it was a nice pollo a la brasa. I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but the restaurant's name, but it was very good. I'm gonna come back next time I go to cover Miami for
You can
the
say the
Chase
name if you
Stadium.
want. You can say the
Okay.
name. No big
I
deal.
mean, I don't know. Then I sponsor you, so I don't wanna like a free ad. But if you go, tell them that you Franco Panizo recommended to you, and they can follow him and everything in Miami Total Football Radio. But it was
The
good.
rest
Good weekend. Huh?
the restaurant was La Brasa in Coral
La
Springs. That's
Brasas
what it
Grill in Coral Springs.
La
Good
Brasa. It was
Sunday
very
night
good.
soccer. Fun. I got to see with a VIP journalist from Inter Miami panel or team that covers daily basis Messi and his friends.
Well, welcome back because you've been gone for a little bit. You've been busy. You've been busy man. Well, what better person to have for today's show, given that Inter Miami just played Orlando City, which is a team that you also cover because yes, you reside in Central Florida. Boo, boo. But no, it's good. It's good to have you on. We get to talk. We're gonna have, I think, a lot of more football talk on this show. Whereas last week with Andrea, I was recapping and we were talking a lot more bigger picture things. We didn't really get to dive into the X's and O's, las tácticas, um, temas más futbolísticos. I think we'll be able to do that today. So, of course, shout out to everyone who's joining us in the comment section already, and yes, who's giving us a hard time for being late. It's listen. Usually I'm on time, so every now and then it's not. It's me every now and then, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to whip these guys into shape. Um, Alonso, we're gonna dive into it, right? Inter Miami is in a crisis. Lionel Messi and Inter Miami are in a crisis. They have won just once in their last 7 games after a 3-0 defeat to arch rivals Orlando City in the Florida Derby or the Sunshine Clásico or the Clásico del Sol, whatever you want to call it. A home defeat at Chase Stadium on Sunday night, 3-0, pretty convincing. Messi made some interesting comments afterwards to Apple TV. Javier Mascherano is under the microscope even more. His pressure or his seat must be getting hotter. I don't know if it's scorching hot yet, but it's definitely getting hotter, and the pressure is ramping up. Alonso, you were here in South Florida. I mean, before we get to, I guess we'll just start. I guess we'll start with it. So Messi, after the game, does a rare interview with Apple TV, who, by the way, cuts him a nice check. So there's that. But in that interview, he's critical of MLS refereeing. And in a, obviously I can't share the soundbite with you. Don't have the rights for it, but to paraphrase, he says MLS needs to take a closer look at its refereeing. Obviously, that makes headlines, that draws a lot of attention. Some people think he's right. Some people think it's ironic that he says it because maybe he's gotten some calls that have gone his way because of who he is. Alonso, what was your opinion, your reaction to Messi's comments?
My reaction to Messi's comments is that locker room is divided because his teammates at the mixed zone did not share the same thoughts of Messi about the referee. And I read because that also the referee told Messi, I don't know the rules. Come on, Messi, the referee was being sarcastic. I mean, he has, oh yeah, I just learned how to play soccer 5 minutes ago. That's why I don't know how to kick the ball. Come on, he's just being sarcastic, and you want to bring that to the table and make a big drama like, oh, the ref told me here. No, he knows the rule. He's a FIFA referee. He also was the ref for the MLS Cup Final 2024. So that's why he was in charge for this game. And I don't know, it was just a big drama created by Messi, only by Messi, because nobody else shared his comments. And I mean, come on. I mean, I know you're Messi. You have a great career path, but not everything that he says, it has to be a new rule.
So I disagree with what you just said. And again, we will get to the X's and O's. I just want to get the other stuff out of the way first. But this pod, this show, this week's episode will be a lot more about tactics and soccer.
I'm drinking oregano. Hey, I'm drinking oregano tea because I'm ready to digest your opinions and have a very respiratory support system right now. Because that's what
fantastic scientific response there, Alonso. Sports science at its finest. If only we could apply that to your punctuality, then we'd be in good shape. Alonso. Look, Messi's comments, I've covered MLS a long time. And the refereeing is poor. We know that. We know it's very many steps behind in general, right? In general,
yes.
Right.
Yes,
and that's the same. That is the same for all teams, right? Some seasons you get some calls go your way a little bit more than not. In other seasons, you don't get as many calls going your way. In the general scheme of things, the idea, the belief, the notion is that they balance out, right? That at some point it's going to balance out. Okay, but there's bad calls in MLS because the referees are not great. They're not at a great level. Now, I will say this. Referees are an easy target. They're an easy punching bag in any sport, in any league. I don't care what sport it is. You want to talk about a different sport? Umpires in baseball, officials in football, American football, referees in basketball, whatever the case is, they're easy targets. So when things don't go well, or when you don't get a call that goes your way, it's easy to point the finger and say, oh, we didn't get this call, or this was wrong. Look, errors are going to happen from referees. They're humans. They make mistakes just like players can make a bad pass, just like a coach can make a bad starting lineup decision. So this is not a surprise. We know it. We know that MLS referees are not up to snuff. Should they be better? Absolutely. Why isn't it better? That's a whole different discussion. So I don't disagree with Messi and his point. But it is ironic that he says that when yes, he has gotten some calls to go his way, foul calls,
And he complained too much about amarilla, yellow card. Bro,
asking for
come
yellow
on. You tell me
cards.
twice, that's a yellow card for you.
He's
You're not
gotten
going to dictate the
away.
game.
He's gotten away since he's signed up here with Inter Miami with some things that maybe he wouldn't get if he was somebody else. On top of that, in the last 2 games, he probably should have been sent off. Probably. In the last game, he confronts Joe Dickerson.
The first game too.
Lo encara face to face, and he has some words, and Joe Dickerson threatens him. We talked about this last week with Andrea. Joe Dickerson threatens him to walk away now, although he had his hand on the back pocket for the red card. This game, he gets a yellow card for sarcastically clapping and then chirping at Gonzalez Guido Jr., who's, by the way, of Peruvian descent. And later in the game, Messi has a moment late in the game where he collides with an Orlando City defender and falls in the penalty area. Now, Messi was looking for a penalty kick. Gonzalez Guido Jr. says no penalty kick, tells him to stand up. So clearly,
he was right there. He
clearly
was right
saying,
there too.
So clearly saying,
stop.
Hold up.
But I also explained that he was right there, 5 feet, 3 feet away from the plate. He wasn't in the half of the field. He was right there.
Okay.
Continue.
So he's
no, the whole picture.
So right. But if he tells him to stand up and saying it's not a foul and you are embellishing it, that could be worthy of a second yellow, which then leads to a red card for Lionel Messi. And he didn't get that. So it is ironic that Messi makes these comments. It also, to me, look, again, refereeing is poor in Major League Soccer, but that's the same for most people. Now, if you want to talk about because Inter Miami has the star power and you don't want referees maybe don't want to be seen as favoring the South Florida side. They don't want to be seen as helping Messi. So now they're going too far the other way. I mean, that's a different conversation. And the overall point is this is not why Inter Miami is losing games. Inter Miami is losing games because right now they're just not good enough. So the biggest takeaway I can have is Messi's right, but it's rich for him to talk about that at this moment after this game. Because listen, there was a controversial play. And we are going to talk about that controversial play before we get to the X's and O's. I just want to get all the extra stuff out of the way before we dive into the X's and O's. There was a controversial call in this game, and that is the play that leads to the first goal for Orlando City. Now, Ian Frey has a throw-in down the right side. He throws it to Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi, with his back to goal, tries to trap it, and he miscontrols it. It gets away from him. Very un-Messi-like to lose a ball in that fashion. The Orlando City defender, Angulo,
winger,
defender. The winger, who had tracked back to help cover Messi, takes a touch inward in the penalty area. His teammate doesn't make a touch on it. Pedro Galese controls it with his feet and eventually picks it up with his hands. That leads to an immediate protest from Messi that a handball should be called. Immediate.
Which is absurd.
Hold on. You'll have your moment. While Messi's protesting and maybe in a way taking Inter Miami's attention off of La Jugada, off of the play, Pedro Galese very astutely sees that Luis Muriel is continuing to play on, makes a run into space in between the center backs. Inter Miami's playing a high line. Pedro Galese, Peruvian national team goalkeeper, picks out a hell of a pelotazo, a hell of a long ball to a streaky Muriel, who gets in behind a napping Inter Miami defense, and Luis Muriel clinically tucks it away. The former Colombian international gives Orlando City the 1-0 lead late in the first half. Okay, Alonso, you can now say your piece. Why is that ridiculous to you?
Because like you said, he make a touch. He doesn't make a pass. He make a touch to an empty space that was far from Pedro Galese. Okay, you make. I mean, whoever play. If you play soccer in any Sunday night league or any Sunday league in Florida, right? Come on, when you see something in live, you can see that play was not even a pass, was not a control. He just make a touch to an empty space. And Galese, okay, he had experience. He said it in the mix zone. Have 35 years playing. He went to pick up everybody. I was the only person or journalist from Orlando City in the entire press box. 100 people probably in the press box. 99 of them cover Inter Miami. Or I mean, they were there for Inter Miami. I don't want to say they cover Inter Miami because it's only 5-6 journalists. But I was the only one from Orlando, and no one complained about that play. People were like, "Oh my God, that was a goal! Oh my God!" And then they tried to, let's check the TV replay, whatever. But he make a touch to an empty play. I mean, to empty space. Brecalo, who was a center back, the ball was behind him. So if he was making a pass, it would have been to Brecalo. And Brecalo was already close to the corner kick line instead of closer to the ball. And it was an empty space. And just Pedro Galese said, okay, nobody, it was to nobody's pass. So I'm going to step up, grab the ball. And yeah, that's it. But a Messi, oh my God. I never see Messi in Barcelona doing that. Oh my God. What's up?
So I mean, I can't show you the play like on the big picture, but I guess I can show it to you off my phone. This is the play in question. This is the best that we're gonna see.
No, you can show it.
Throw in. Messi loses
it.
There's
look. You're gonna tell me that's a pass to Galese?
So it's not okay. All right. So did you finish? So I'm gonna start. If you finish,
finish. Finish.
To me, it is a clear pass from Angulo. Now, it is not a clear, it's not an intentional. Can I finish?
No, but who's a pass?
Okay.
You say it's a pass. When you make a pass, it's to somebody. You don't make a pass to the air.
Sure.
You make a pass to somebody. To who?
To the center back.
The center back the ball was here.
So what?
The ball was behind. I'm the center back, and the ball was right here.
Okay.
That's not a pass.
Alonso. All right. So he plays the pass to the center back. Now, center back lets it go. Center back doesn't.
No, the
center back doesn't pick it.
Go.
The center back doesn't make a play on it.
The ball was behind the center back. That's not a pass.
Igualmente. All right. Igualmente. Okay.
But that's not a pass.
Then
no, but that's not a pass.
Go ahead.
I'm just
continue.
Okay. No, but I don't want you to tell the audience a different play because the center back.
I told you. I let you go, and when you're done, you let me know.
Finish humo.
Acá no hay humo.
Pero es humo, porque es un pass.
Acá es lo que se ve.
No es un pass, pero no es un pass.
All right, so continue.
Finish.
Right, so continue.
No, finish.
No, go ahead. Get it all out of your system.
I already out of my system that there was no pass, obviously.
Okay, all right. It was a pass, right? Because he's not clearing the ball up the field, right? So he's in control of the ball. Messi loses the ball. He gets the ball.
Yeah.
He's now in possession.
He lost the ball too.
No, he's now in possession of the ball. He's now in possession of the ball.
He's running.
And he clearly looks to play a pass so that Orlando City can start to build out or do whatever they want to do. Now, the other defender doesn't make the play on it. The ball rolls to Pedro Galese. The ball rolls to Pedro Galese. And Galese controls it with his feet and then picks it up. Alonso, it may not be a direct back pass, an intentional back pass to Pedro Galese, but it's still a back pass. It's still a back pass. If I'm in possession of the ball, I can't just pass it to a teammate, and if the teammate says, I don't want it, then the goalkeeper has free liberty to pick it up.
No, that's
not how the game works.
No. Look. This is 2+2. Okay? This is not hard than that if you multiply any number by 0. Look. If you as a let's say Busquets, right? You pass the ball to Falcon or no Allen, I don't care, and they open their legs and let it pass the ball, whatever, to Ustari, and Ustari pick it up. You have the full intention for that pass from Sergio Busquets to go to Ustari's hand, and you can be like, oh no, it wasn't for me, sir. That's why I pick it up with my hands. But the intention of the entire thing is a free kick. In this play, he make a touch no intention to pass to Pedro Galese, and Pedro Galese pick it up.
Okay.
And on top of that, the ball goes behind the center back. That's in the center back is going towards the corner kick, and the ball goes behind. So it's a bad touch, and
Not a bad
goes
touch.
over.
It was a
It's a bad
pass.
touch.
It was definitely a
You
pass.
said it was a touch too.
No. I didn't say it was
You
touch.
said
He passed it. He passed
you
it.
said that. No, you said you touch it. We can rewind it for a minute and a half.
Messi miscontrols it, and his touch
And
is
he
a
made a
pass.
bad touch.
He didn't
He made a
try
bad
to
touch to the empty space.
Alonso. There's
You're gonna tell me a
receive the
professional,
ball?
bro? They're like 3 feet away in the pass.
Alonso.
Not even close to Brecalo.
Alonso.
I'm telling
To
you,
receive the ball, you cushion the ball, and he does not cushion the ball. He makes a forward motion with his right foot to play the ball to a teammate. He didn't smash the ball upfield. No, it was not a bad touch, Alonso. It was not a bad touch. Okay,
I cover enough Orlando City to know
you can say it's a bad touch.
Skills.
Está bien. You can say it's a bad touch. I say it's a pass. Now, is it a direct pass to Pedro Galese? No. This is where the interpretation and the law itself. This is where
but your example from Busquets makes no sense.
It's shades of gray. It's not black or white, which is why Inter Miami has a case. It's why Orlando City has a case, and why it's a talking point after the game, and why it is a controversial decision. If you ask people, some people are going to say yes this way, some people are going to say no the other way. So it's a controversial decision, and it's not clear cut. It's based on the official letter of the law. It's not clear because the letter of the law says a deliberate back pass to the goalkeeper. Well, was it a deliberate back pass to Pedro Galese from Angulo? No. But could you read intentional back pass as any pass to your team? So what if the other player? Doesn't make a play on it, right? So again, let's just do an example. Because I've used this one with you in WhatsApp. If Yannick Bright had the ball at midfield and he's like, you know what, I don't have any forward options. Let me pass it backwards to Peluca Falcon or Noah Allen. And when he does so, Peluca Falcon or Noah Allen open their legs and they do the dummy so that the ball goes through them to the goalkeeper. Does that give the goalkeeper, Oscar Ustari, permission to now pick up the ball because the pass wasn't intended to him?
He shouldn't. Because his intention for him to become
no, there was no intention to pass it to him.
Yes, it was.
The intention was to pass to Ustari.
Yeah, I mean, no. To who? Yeah,
to Allen or Peluca.
And what was the action of them?
To let it go.
Okay, intentionally, right?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So it's intended. So the pass was intended. No, it's
same
not.
Thing here.
Because the pass or the touch, whatever we say, was a bad pass. Was a touch to empty space. It was no purpose
for
the
pass.
pass.
To empty space in the final third.
He's playing, bro. That's fine.
Through balls.
Messi couldn't control the ball in an empty space either.
Es el jugador más loco en la historia. El jugador más loco en la historia porque juega pases through balls.
If you ever play soccer for 5 minutes, you know any circumstances when it's an intentional pass or it's just by an accident pass. This is not rocket science. Look, if you play 5 minutes,
his reaction is like,
look,
oh crap, I messed up.
Look. If the ball comes in the air, okay, right? Even if I know how to kick with 3 fingers to pass the ball to my goalkeeper, 3 fingers and say, oh, I wanted to clear, but by accident I hit 3 fingers and it went back to my goalkeeper. There's your body, if you play soccer, you just don't kick the ball with your legs. Your whole body tells you the posture, how you have that technique to kick the ball. So if you on purpose kick the ball with your 3 fingers and the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, anybody, the ball comes.
I don't understand what you're saying anymore.
Huh?
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Look, I'm saying when it's an intentional,
if he
you can read it.
If he had,
it wasn't
if he had unintentionally made a bad touch, he would have scrambled after it. He would have made an initial burst
because he saw nobody was there, so no one took him out.
We'll agree to disagree.
Look, again,
the letter of the
your posture. No, listen. Your posture will tell you when it's an intentional pass or not. You don't need just to do.
And his posture.
You don't need to move. You don't need to move your leg to leg and say, "Oh no, it was a pass." Your posture will tell you.
His posture. Look at the replay. Look at the replay.
In any if you go by the replay and want to look, so every corner is a PK then. because in the corner you hug people. So
Here we go.
Let's do the replay. Let's do that replay. No,
Well, no,
that's what I'm saying.
Let's listen to
no.
Let's listen to Yannick Bright's opinion on this controversial moment.
No, I honestly thought it was. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the refereeing, but I honestly thought it was a back pass. I thought it was a clear back pass. I just don't know what's going on. But like I said, I don't want to talk about the referees. I think the accountability is on us, and I just don't want to talk about the referees.
So Yannick Bright says he does not want to talk about the referees. He wants to talk about the accountability that Inter Miami has in this poor run of form. So that leads us to transitioning to the game. Maybe at the end of the podcast, we'll go at it again, because Pedri Potter here says, I'm judging Alonso's ball knowledge so hard right now. Sean Callan says, we got too emotional too early. LOL. Going towards the game.
I mean, of course, the Inter Miami fans, they need to be against me. Common sense. It's like you asking. It's like you asking a Real Madrid fan.
Alonso, that's not true. Alonso, the people here. Yeah.
Come on, bro. 2 + 2 is 4.
Maria. Calm down. Don't make me reach to the back pocket. Sean Callahan says, I'm with you, Alonso. Focusing on the game. Alonso, Inter Miami in the first half was the team with the possession. They were the team on the ball. They created a couple of chances. Messi had one shot that Pedro Alves made a good save on.
Two, right? Two. The other one was barely missed the second post. That was Messi too, or Suarez? It was one that was barely missed the second post.
All the same, Inter Miami was in possession, controlling the tempo, but Orlando City was controlling the spaces, not giving up a lot in the final third, staying compact, staying organized, pulling a rabbit out of the old Minnesota United hat that we saw a few weeks ago, where I won't say they parked the bus, but I mean, they clearly were trying to counter attack. Now, again, Inter Miami, Orlando. Now, Inter Miami has its chances, but not clear-cut chances, but they can't put it away. All the same, that combined with the controversial moment leads to the goal for Orlando City. 1-0 going into the break. Alonso, what were your impressions of that first half from Inter Miami standpoint? Because I know you're going to sit here and you want to talk all rosy and lovey-dovey about Orlando City because you cover them and because
I know
deep down inside your heart.
I know them, and I know you don't know them, but I want to tell people, I mean, a rookie from Clemson was marking Messi. Jordan Gerber.
Okay. Great.
The first half,
we want to hear your thoughts on Inter Miami. We don't want to hear your thoughts on Orlando City. It's not an Orlando City podcast. So give me your thoughts on Inter Miami.
I'm telling you, bro. Inter Miami, I mean, they play home. They were aggressive. They couldn't finish because they were on the right night, and Pedro Galese was I don't know, like he was on his night. I mean, he always ataja like that. So, I mean, they missed so many occasions to score. I mean, like 2-3 occasions to score. Pedro Galese respond well on a couple of them, and that's it. I mean, goles que no haces, goles que te hacen. You don't score, they're gonna score on you. It's very simple. And Orlando City, knowing that they lost 5-0 last time when they played, how you can say the same pace. I mean, Messi and Suarez just dominated the defenders, so they were parking the bus for a couple of moments and attacking and having possession.
Ratoneando.
I mean, that's how they. I mean, that's the style of play.
Está bien. No. Está bien, pero ratoneando, right? ¿Sí o no?
In couple moments, yes. In couple moments, yes. It's okay. It's okay. You got Messi. I mean, it's not Rodolfo Pizarro up front or Higuaín. It's Messi.
Is the approach valid? Yes, the approach
Yes.
is valid. The tactical
You
game
know,
plan is válido. No
and,
problem.
and you know what I like it because the line of four set back and the two midfielders they were trying to they were the first one to grab Messi, grab Suarez, and the center back just pick up the trash and clear or make a long ball pass to Muriel or the other wingers. But
There's two
but
approaches
Inter
to
Miami,
Inter Miami.
Inter Miami, I don't know. They play 5-3-2, 5-3-2, right? Inter Miami.
So Inter
For
Miami,
me,
Javier Mascherano
was a
came
bad
out with a
decision.
different look. Javier Mascherano came out with a different look. And I actually had asked them on Friday leading up to the game, what changes he could make, what adjustments he could make, because clearly if they have repeated defensive errors as he has talked about, then he's got to change something, right? Whether it's personnel, whether it's, tweaks to the system. And he talked about possibly tweaking the system. And he did do that in this game. Comes out with let's call it a 5-3-2. 5-3-2. That was when it was in a defensive posture. When it was in attacking posture, which was for much of the game, it was more like a 4. I don't want to call it a 4-4-2, but
For who?
just for Inter Miami when they had the ball. Jordi Alba was playing not as an outright left back in this game. He was playing more as a left wing back, el carrilero izquierdo, in the back five. But a lot of the game he spent up much higher, much higher. And I think I understand the thought process behind it from Mascherano, because Jordi Alba is one of the most technically gifted players on Inter Miami. He's probably one of the more creative players on Inter Miami, despite being a left back. So I understand the idea of trying to get him in more advanced positions to see if he can maybe combine with Messi a little bit more, who, of course, that combination has led to a lot of goals. If you want to see him try to get the ball to Suarez, like, I get the thought process behind it, but it didn't work. Jordi Alba's at his best when he's making those overlapping runs, those runs into space, when he doesn't necessarily have someone right next to him marking him, when he's got more space to run at, to pick out the pass, to do what he does, to combine. As the left winger, he's not fast enough to round you, right? He's not going to get by you on the dribble when he has to see, go up against somebody one-on-one. Does he have enough dribbling skills to get by somebody? Probably not. He's someone that pops up in the right moments because there's extra space afforded. So that position didn't really work. It didn't really work.
Yeah, but also one thing. I think Mascherano probably didn't study Orlando City, or whoever studied Orlando City didn't do a good job, because when you play 5, right? I mean, first of all, Orlando play 4-2-2-1-1, okay? Because they play with Ojeda as a number 10 and Muriel as a number 9. So you got 5 defenders in Miami. So you mean that you have three center backs with 1. And you have one of Busquets or Bry with Ojeda. So you are wasting 4 players for 2 players. So also that's why it was easy to mark in the middle for Orlando City, because you're wasting 4 guys up top and here chilling with with more numbers. So that's why when sometimes we saw Miami attacking, we saw Messi, Suarez against four defenders of 4 Orlando players, or we saw probably 3 Inter Miami players against 6 Orlando City players. So that's why also Mascherano's fault, the way that he did his tactic against Orlando City.
Well, the midfield, at least at the start of the game, it was Busquets and Yannick Bright, and Tadeo Allende would tuck in to help them in that midfield where it was, but he would occasionally also push forward to try to interchange positions with Messi or Suarez. I mean, el dibujo táctico, right? The tactical idea, to me, from up above in the press box, it looked messy. It didn't look, no pun intended, it didn't look organized. It looked kind of helter-skelter, hodgepodge, like Mascherano was trying to invent something new. And it didn't really work, right? It didn't really work. Yes, did Inter Miami have possession? Yes. But it goes back to what I was trying to tell you before. There's two ways that you can play Inter Miami, and we've seen different teams play it in recent weeks. One is to do what we saw Orlando City do, what we've seen Minnesota United do, which is where you throw numbers behind the ball, you give up possession, you're not trying to play in terms of the possession battle, you don't care for the ball, and you just look to stay organized, stay compact, and hit on the counter in transition, which we've seen Inter Miami be weak at, especially with such a high line that they play. The other way we saw from the San Jose Earthquakes and the Vancouver Whitecaps, where you try to play a little bit more. You try to have some of the ball. You try to dictate the tempo with the ball, with some possession. The Vancouver Whitecaps did it very successfully. San Jose Earthquakes also did well in that regard because they created goals from trying to go blow for blow. It's like two boxers, right? They're both going attacking style. They're both trying to land punches, as opposed to maybe a boxer who.
Yeah, well, the
you know,
first goal from San Jose was a mistake
likes to
too
just-
from Ustari.
The first goal from
San Jose. There was a mistake from Ustari and Falcon, I think.
Of
They were
course,
trying to come.
but
Yeah,
San
but-
Jose, San Jose didn't sit back and park the bus and say, "Vamos a ratonear here at home." They tried to play. They tried, especially when Chicho Arango was still on the field. They tried to play. Once he came off the field, things were, they lost a little bit of their attacking edge. But all the same, they still tried to play, whereas other teams don't try to play. And again, both approaches are valid. And I think, me personally, if you're a team that's going up against Inter Miami today, your best bet, of course, personal matters, of course, what you've got matters, all of that matters. But your best bet is to do it the way that Orlando City, Minnesota United are doing it. Clearly, Inter Miami, if you try to go blow for blow, they're going to have the guns that can hurt you. They have Messi, they have Jordi Alba. Obviously, Luis Suarez is in a bad run of form, but he can always pop up and finish if one falls in the penalty area. They have the weapons to hurt you if you try to go toe for toe. If you try to make it hard for them, as Orlando City did, then they start to struggle. And then their possession doesn't lead to a lot of production. I want to hear Javier Mascherano's post-game remarks because he once again, in my opinion, confuses possession with controlling the game. And that's not that. I don't think that necessarily goes hand in hand here, because if the other team isn't trying to play, then yeah, you're going to win the possession battle. Of course. That doesn't mean you're controlling the game just because you have the ball, if the other team's not trying to play. Let's listen to Javier Mascherano, and then I'll let you throw in your 2 cents.
Nada, un poco lo comentaste vos, ¿no? Al final, creo que estábamos haciendo una muy buena primera parte, controlando el partido, teniendo opciones, llegando, teniendo las mejores ocasiones claras, pero bueno, otra vez una desatención en una pelota relativamente fácil y nada, estamos en esa fase o en esos momentos donde cada desatención que tenemos concedemos un gol. Lamentablemente esta es la realidad y no tengo mucho que decir. Lamentablemente es así. En el segundo tiempo intentamos cambiar algunas cosas y bueno, obviamente ya después del segundo gol estábamos tratando de tomar más riesgos para ver con los cambios poder generar algún impacto, sobre todo empezando a tirar quizás más pelotas adentro del área, llegando más por fuera, pero bueno, claramente no tuvo el impacto que queríamos. La realidad es que más allá de que la jugada puede ser o es controversial porque hay un pase hacia atrás, volvemos a caer en los mismos errores que nos cuesta el partido nuevamente.
So to paraphrase for those that don't speak Spanish, he talks about controlling the game
Welcome to America.
because they had the ball. He goes on to saying that a mistake proves costly. He touches on the controversial play, but doesn't. He says it's controversial, but doesn't really harp on it.
Emphasize.
Alonso, do you agree with me that just because you have the ball, that does not necessarily mean you're controlling the game, especially when the other team, like Orlando City, doesn't care for having possession in this game?
I mean, you can control the ball, but if there's no purpose to it, I don't care what you're doing with the ball. If you go from side to side, you never penetrates in the box. What's the purpose of having the ball? I mean, come on. I mean, if you have possession of the ball, it's because you're creating spaces. If you have Mascherano says, first of all, Mascherano's voice tells you that everything is bad in the locker room in the team. His voice is not like a couple of weeks ago. And he said something that, again, what video did you watch about Orlando City? Because you said at the end we were trying to send long balls into the box. Have you realized that the defenders from Orlando City are above 6'2", and the goalkeeper is 6'3"? Like Freeman 6'3", Rodrigo Schlegel 6'2". So who are you playing? Like who? Who are you playing? I don't know who you play. Obando or Messi is not gonna win. Like that. And Jordi Alba keep making crosses, and Rodrigo Schlegel was just being happy. Same with Robbie Johnson. So I don't know the tactic that he was looking to play against Orlando City. Another mistake from Mascherano, because come on, you have to realize they're tall. Also, I sent you a video during the week when I asked Oscar Pareja about the right back and the center backs. Regardless of his answer, this is a weakness for Inter Miami. We saw El Chelo Wenda against el AFC.
¿El Chelo quién? ¿El Chelo quién?
El Chelo Wenda, no sé cómo. Wenga. No sé.
El Chelo Wenga, causa. El Chelo Wenga.
Okay, sometimes so many languages I speak, I get confused. Listen. So
I found out Alonso speaks a little bit of Croat.
Kakosi, dobro, Chestitan Pergola. Escúchame. Listen to me. So I say, everybody, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Congratulations. Felicitaciones. Chestitan. Listen, so okay. So the weakness for Inter Miami is the right fullback, with Chelo, got destroyed by Buanga. And now Angulo, and you even said in the press box, I don't know why Orlando City doesn't attack by Angulo's side, because he's destroying Ian Frey.
But in this game, Ian Frey started.
Yeah, Ian Frey. Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of listeners here, a lot of commenters, and a lot of Inter Miami fans in general wanted to see Ian Frey get a start. They thought, he's an upgrade over Chelo Wenga.
He's a good. I like him too. But
okay, but this game he started.
But he's too slow. Did
he show something in this game with the first team that makes you say, yes, he absolutely should be starting week in and week out?
No, because
Angulo se lo come vivo en una jugada en el primer tiempo.
Yeah, and Angulo play in Orlando City. Imagine when they have to play the FIFA World Cup. Like you're gonna face Dani Rios from Palmeiras, Colombia. So Facundo. Let's concentrate on the game. So that's a very weakness position for Inter Miami. Regardless who you put, Chelo, Ian, or Lujan, they're too slow. They're not good for MLS facing the wingers, because here in MLS the wingers are very fast. They might not be the best technical players, they're very fast. And also you have Muriel, who is 6'3", and you have two center backs that are 5'8", 9, 10 if you want to. And you saw it that Falcon was struggling the entire game. He was struggling on contain Luis Muriel, and the only way that he could have sometimes was making a foul. So come on, Inter Miami needs to change a lot of positions. You need to hire soon more players.
There's only so much change.
You got $3 million in the game. Go buy some center backs and a right back.
But they have to be available.
Messi que make some Funkos, man. Hey, Sergio Ramos, you wanna come?
Sergio Ramos, por favor. But going back to the game itself, Orlando City's game plan worked. Inter Miami's did not. And then the controversial play that leads to the goal obviously gives Orlando City the edge. After that, Inter Miami has to be even more aggressive, which then exposes them even more. They leave more spaces in behind. Orlando City gets a goal early in the second half. They actually should have scored even earlier in the second half, but somehow they don't know how to finish because they had two clear-cut opportunities. Una vergüenza que no terminaron los dos.
Oh, Ojeda. Look, tomorrow I'm gonna ask Oscar Pareja.
Plays.
No, but tomorrow I'm gonna ask Oscar Pareja. No, 3 plays. Tú, Martín Ojeda y Juan Ramiro, el hijo de Enrique Ramiro, World Cup champion 1986.
But before the goal, before the second goal happened.
But tomorrow I'm gonna ask Oscar Pareja. Yeah, you beat 3-0 to Inter Miami, but are you happy? Because you guys could have you missed 4 opportunities. You know? So come on.
We don't want to hear what you're going to ask Oscar Pareja.
Bro, I'm telling you anyways. Look. Orlando missed a lot of opportunities, and Miami didn't take those opportunities and hicieron goles. You know,
but the problem is Inter Miami, with all the possession that Mascherano talks about, still doesn't generate a whole lot of clear-cut scoring opportunities. Pedro Galese made what? 2-3 good saves in this game. Good saves where he was really tested. Like
3-4.
No, not 3-4.
When he came out with a
that's not a save. That's not a save. That's an intervention.
What is it?
That's an intervention. That's not a save. That's
in English.
Intervención. No es una tapada. But all the same, to me, look, it's clear that Mascherano. You can say whatever you want about the roster, and if the roster's not properly constructed, that they need. Look, some people are going to say that, and look, it might be a valid discussion. But guess what? This is the team you have. This is the team that Mascherano helped build. So this is what you're going to be judged with. And Mascherano isn't finding the best combination for this group. At the beginning of the year, you saw improvements defensively. But in the attack, it was still very Messi dependent, right? It was still very Messi focused. If Messi didn't create a moment of magic, then the attack still left something to be desired. Now it's both the attack and the defense that aren't looking good. Midfield is not looking good. No one's really looking good. And that is a testament to Mascherano's tactics. That is a testament to the individual player levels here. But we're going to talk about Messi again here because I think it's clear. Hold on. I think it's clear.
Mascherano is not surprised. This is what happened if you're going to bring Mascherano.
Está bien, pero with Luis Suarez, I think most people are in agreement that he's lost a step, if not 2. Busquets, I think people are starting to say the same thing, that he's lost a step. He's not the same Busquets.
Busquets not even the shadow that he was in Barcelona. Not even close. He got good pass, of course, not like Angulo, but the way he used to come out, the move that he used to do to connect from the defense to the forwards, you know, the pace that he used to put in the game, he's not even close. Not even 10% what he was in Barcelona. Not even.
Okay. So continuing with that,
I'm agreeing with you.
Jordi Alba continues to show good signs in the attack, generally speaking, but he's still not the player he once was. And the same goes for Lionel Messi, who's 37, about to be 38. He's not the same player he was, man. He's not. You know, he's getting older. Está perdiendo un poco de fútbol. Maybe if you want, you can blame MLS. Blame MLS because the level here and the level of demand, el nivel de exigencia isn't as high as in Europe and what he's used to. So maybe it's natural that his form starts to dip. But I've seen some moments from Messi, and I know his fans and his fanatics that are not Inter Miami supporters. They're just Messi fans. They're going to come in here and say, oh, you're just criticizing Messi for this, and that. But I've seen things from Messi that are eye-opening that you don't normally see. The controversial moment we just talked about, right, that leads to Orlando City's goal, comes off of an Ian Frey throw-in that Messi just inexplicably takes a bad touch on. When do you see Messi make that type of mistake controlling a ball, receiving a ball, recepcionando? When do you see him make that type of mistake or that type of touch?
Never.
It's not
I
common.
remember.
Right, it's not common for him. It might be common for 99% of the other players in the entire world, but it's not common to see that from Messi. You see his free kicks, they don't even go over the wall now in a lot of occasions. Some of them go way off the mark, or they're too weak and they go right to the goalkeepers. Like, he hasn't really been that dangerous on a free kick in a while, in a long time. You see the decisions he makes when he dribbles. And maybe he's trying to do too much, but in other moments, he'd be able to get by at those defenders and make the pass. Here, you see him getting stripped of the ball. You see him losing possession. You see him sometimes playing. I won't say there's times where it's okay to take a risky pass, but there's times where you see him make poor passes that lose possession for Inter Miami. I mean, the four of them have clearly started to lose a step, and Father Time is undefeated. There's nothing wrong with that. That happens to everybody. But
I
that
say los
really,
años no pasan en vano in English. The years doesn't go by in vain. I don't know.
that's why. Yeah, but the point is that with them dropping in the levels, and then you have a team that's very dependent on them, then you're gonna run into problems. You're gonna run into issues because, I mean, you can't expect Tadeo Allende and Telasco Segovia and Yannick Bright and Fafa Picol to win you games consistently. They're just not those type of players. They're not those type of players.
They never were.
The difference makers are the ones that have to win these games for you and put the team on their backs. And unfortunately for Inter Miami, they have banked on and bet on 4 aging superstars. And that's the reality of the situation. And those 4 superstars are not up to the level. Now, could the funcionamiento colectivo, could that collective functioning, the collective performance, could that be better? Yes. But then you've got a green head coach, greener than marijuana, in Javier Mascherano, who has never coached at the club level before. He's never coached professionally before. So he's going to make mistakes. He's trying to figure out what type of coach he is. He's trying to figure out a new league and and how to deal with egos and all these other things that he has to now deal with on a day-to-day basis that he's never dealt with.
No
before.
Excuses, results, all that talk that he did.
These are not excuses. These are reasons for why Inter Miami is not doing well, and these are things that have to be addressed,
fixed,
tweaked, corrected. And it's tough right now to looking forward at the future, seeing a positive outlook. Look, I am full belief here on what's today, May 19th. Yeah, it's my aunt's birthday tomorrow, so it's May 19th. And I'm a full belief. Feliz cumpleaños, tía. I'm a full belief that Inter Miami is going to make some signings and they're going to turn the tide. I don't know if they'll be at the top of the Eastern Conference, but I think that they'll start to turn the tide. I think there's too much top level talent on this team for that not to be the case. I know right now it's very doom and gloom.
By June 1st,
title of this episode is crisis.
By June 1st, if they don't win and they're still going down, you need to get a new head coach. So and get ready for the FIFA World Cup.
Mascherano's greener than una lechuga romana. Says Tank 721 laughing emojis. So that's a question, right? And I was a guest on I think Sirius XM Radio today, and I was asked that question about Mascherano. Alonso, I mean, I just don't see. Look, I've seen a side of the Mas brothers, especially Jorge Mas, who's the more hands-on and forward-facing of the two brothers. Like, I've seen that ruthlessness, that business ruthlessness. Like, I've seen little glimpses. You hear stories behind the scenes, and I could see that they have that in them, especially Jorge Mas. Probably Jose Mas even more, to be honest with you. But since the start of this whole endeavor, since Inter Miami came to existence, the big buzzword is La Familia, the family. And that has, by and large, been a huge, huge part of Inter Miami's DNA. On the field, off the field, hires in the front office, hires in other positions. Like La Familia is not just the name for the fans in the stands. It's literally the mantra of Inter Miami, maybe an unofficial mantra, because it is how they largely operate. And I just don't see, despite probably there's some concern and some frustration, I don't see them cutting ties with Mascherano. Even if they continue this poor run, even if they have a poor World Cup, I just don't see how they go halfway through the year when they had just restarted to try to build this project because they had a new head coach this past winter, a coach who has brought in players like Baltasar Rodriguez, Peluca Falcón, Gonzalo Luján. I don't see how you get rid of that coach to then try to start over again. I mean, would it be maybe the best decision to try to salvage things in the long run? Maybe you can make the argument for that with Mascherano, you're not going to win anything, so might as well start sooner rather than later. But in MLS, where the projects and the emphasis is on giving time, I don't see a possibility. I just don't see it. I don't see where Jorge Mas says, you know what, we have to let Mascherano go, and now we've got to find somebody else who can coach Messi, who Messi's going to work with. I just don't see that. I mean, do you agree with me? Disagree with me?
I agree and disagree, because the easiest way to refresh a team in any part of the world is by letting go the head coach. Now, Jorge Mas is an entrepreneur, and as a businessman, you want to win. And if your team is not winning, you're not making money, you're not making the revenue that you need. If Inter Miami doesn't keep advancing, winning, they're going to lose money. They're going to lose the show. As soon Messi gets subbed, people leave the stands. As soon they score they scored a third goal, okay? And Orlando scored a third goal, let's say, I don't know, one minute after the 90 minutes, or close to 90 minutes, and everybody started leaving. So that means that even 2-goal advantage, against, people are still believing that Messi could do something. So if you see all this happening and you don't make a change like I said before, the easiest way to make this refreshness is by letting the head coach go. I don't know what you want. I mean, Lionel Messi is getting older, like you mentioned, which is, I agree with you 100%. So I don't know how many more years he's gonna be in MLS. Yeah, a new contract, perfect. But Messi fever at the end of the day is gonna stop somehow, and especially if you're not winning, people are gonna want to buy more tickets because his primary pass.
I think another thing that's going against this team, and it's something that I've been asking about, and that I've been getting responses to, is, talk about tactics, talk about player levels, whether players have regressed, if they've dipped, all that stuff. But another thing, and you were here to witness it, was the elimination to the Vancouver Whitecaps. That has marcado un antes y un después en esta temporada para Inter Miami. That has marked a before and after for Inter Miami's season thus far. Because before that elimination, no one's saying Inter Miami was perfect in terms of what they were demonstrating performance-wise, but it was working. They were getting results. They were defensively sound for the most part. They were grinding out wins. They were getting enough magic up front from Messi. But then after that Vancouver Whitecaps series, after the elimination in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, when they were one step away from the Continental Championship match, ever since then, there's been a huge, huge dip in confidence. And you've heard it in different moments, Alonso. You've heard Sergio Busquets talk about the Club World Cup. You've seen how Messi has reacted to the refereeing and the comments he's making. You hear different remarks from other players in other moments. It's clear that están golpeados. Tadeo Allende acknowledged that after the San Jose game. They're hurting. They're still reeling from that elimination. Let's listen to Yannick Bright talk about the emotional state, el estado anímico of Inter Miami after this 3-0 loss to Orlando City? Is the emotional state impacting things right now?
Definitely that too. It plays an important part in it, and it's just hard to think about it, and it's just hard to it's just hard to even say anything about it. Honestly, it's just what is going on, But it obviously starts from us. Apologize to the fans, the real ones, and it's got to be better, for us, for them, for everyone. So
thank you, Yannick. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. He says he apologizes to the fans, the real ones. Who's he talking about there? Alonso, did I lose you?
Who? I mean, who you think? The real fans.
Inter Miami fans.
But I mean, I was there with you when he
So
said that.
So who are the fake fans according to him? The not real ones. Who are the not real fans?
I mean,
The
don't want to say the truth.
Messi fans. No, the Messi fans that are not going to be here, that are only here for Messi. That's how I interpret what he said. That's how I interpret.
No, but I told you, I mean, before that the locker room is divided. The locker room is divided. I mean, look Mascherano, how he used to talk before Vancouver, now how he talks. Then he said the fake fans, right? The Messi fans. I agree. I
not
agree
real
with you.
fans. He said the real
But
ones.
they're not real fans, okay? But and also, Fafa and Bry, that they were in the mix zone, they didn't agree with Messi comment about the referee. So there's little things. They're not saying I don't agree, Messi fans, but what they're saying is little things that you have. And I mean, you cover the team more than I, so you should be able to connect those pieces and be like, okay, something is going on internally. Maybe they're not talking with the entire team. Maybe they have the groups. Messi friends again with Di Maria coming. Maybe Di Maria coming, they already know. And Tadeo Allende, the other wingers are like, what was going to happen to me? Maybe other pieces are coming and they're like, what's going to happen to me? You promised me 2-3 years. There's many things going on.
Sean Callahan says the 7,000 to 11,000 people that showed up pre-Messi are the real fans. I agree with you, Alonso, that I think behind the scenes, it's not peachy, it's not rosy, it's not. I mean, clearly they're losing, right? So that impacts things. But I think even before the loss, it just isn't that tight-knit group, that group that's sticking together.
Remember last season? Everything Messi says, everybody, 100%, he's our captain, moving forward. I don't know. And I wanted to ask you yesterday.
Listen to Yannick Bright, right? Listen to Yannick Bright right there say, he doesn't want to talk about the referees, that they need to do better. They need to be better for the fans. It's completely different message that what comes out of Messi's mouth, and Messi's like, Major League Soccer needs to take a look at its refereeing. Completely different message. Completely different message. I mean, does this team have a real leader? Is that locker room united? I think there's a lot of questions about Inter Miami right now. And the answers are not. It's not looking too good. Suarez just went to a wedding. Suarez went to a wedding and missed 2 games. I mean, if Benjamin Kremaski tomorrow wants to go say, hey, Masche, I want to go to my girlfriend's brother's quinceañero. Quinceañera. Well, I guess the brother would have a quinceañera. But if he was like, hey, I want to go to his to my girlfriend's sister's quinceañera, can I go? I mean, maybe they'd let him go, but I mean, the point is, I think behind the scene the dynamics aren't great. And again, I've talked about this in recent weeks. You have superstar players. And
I think Mascherano with the wrong idea. This is MLS. Mascherano. I play in Barcelona. I live from Guardiola. It's different national team than a club team. I have Messi, Suarez. They're great. Hey, Calendar, I don't need you. Gressel, I don't need you. I don't need you either. You. This is my team. I'm gonna stay with this team. And in reality, it is your system not working.
Nico Nick says, since the Vancouver game, Mascherano's lost touch with the team and it's a disaster on the field. Desperate tactics are backfire and the opponents are capitalizing on the chaos. Let's listen to Mascherano.
20 goals in 7 games.
They've given up 20 goals in 7 games. It's a good stat from Alonso there. But let's listen to Javier Mascherano about the lack of confidence that Inter Miami has had since that Vancouver Whitecaps series. Because like I said before, marca un antes y un después. It clearly marks a before and after at this point for Inter Miami season.
Pues, a ver, claramente ha pasado algo que el equipo ha perdido muchísimo en confianza, hemos bajado el nivel individual y el nivel colectivo y está claro que de alguna u otra manera lo hemos intentado con diferentes sistemas, con diferentes nombres y a día de hoy nos está costando. Seguiremos intentándolo, seguiremos viendo cuál es la manera. A mi manera de ver, hoy habíamos intentado una línea de 5 para igualarle a sus 5 puntas, que la realidad, y para poder presionar más arriba y jugar en campo rival. Creo que la mayor parte del primer tiempo funcionó, pero claro, cuando estás jugando prácticamente emparejado en toda la cancha mano a mano, cualquier error te puede costar un gol y como lo vimos en el primer gol, ¿no?
So to paraphrase, you're on mute, Alonso. You muted yourself. I didn't mute you. Either that or your headphones went out. One of the two. Your headphones probably went out, actually.
I wanted to ask.
You're muted again.
Un-
All right, habla. Go ahead.
I wanna know what he means by the 5 puntas de Orlando City. Like 5 offensive players,
Yes.
5 forwards. That's a huge mistake because Orlando City play with two, number 10, number 9, and the 2 wingers. That's 4. That's 4 because Araujo, the Uruguayan, and Gerber, the French from college, Clemson, they're like midfielders, defensive midfielders. Okay, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. What video did he watch? I want to know who his video. I can volunteer for a video guy. Who watch it?
Only if you bring el pollo a la brasa.
No, I'm gonna go to the next.
And I think when he talks about how he had a back 5, I mean, Inter Miami came out with a back 5, but it didn't look like a back 5.
But to match the 5 puntas.
But but a lot of the game, Jordi Alba was far up the field. Right? So it wasn't even
because Telasco was on the left, right?
No, Telasco didn't start. Tadeo was on the other side.
Tadeo was on the left.
Tadeo was on the right.
No. So who was on the left?
Jordi Alba.
Johnny Bright?
Jordi Alba.
In the midfielder.
It was Yannick Bright and Sergio Busquets.
They play 5. They play 5, and they play 3. Right. Busquets,
Bright,
Allende, Bright, and
Allende was on the right.
Yeah, who was on the left? In front of Alba.
No, there was no left midfielder. It was 3 central midfielders, and Jordi Alba moved forward.
Who was the third center midfielder?
I just told you, Yannick Bright, Busquets, and Bright. Wait, what did I say? No, Bright, Busquets, and Allende. And then up top was Messi and Suarez.
So Allende on the left.
No, carajo.
Bright on the left.
Not really, but sure.
Okay. Well, look, my point is that I was at the press box looking at the game, and I saw Alba literally all the time going like this. And this center back, this midfielder, the left midfielder, instead of support, he will stand like in the middle, like I'm just here chilling. So that's why I don't understand if that was part of the tactic that you line of 5. I didn't understand what he was doing because every time Jordi Alba went up, this one, instead of cover Alba or going forward, stay in the same place. Like all this is for you to come back, Alba, or for the right wingers for Orlando City.
So the crazy part is that in
the second half,
Tank 721 says it looked like a 4-man backline on defense. It did at times, but Mascherano clearly just referred to it as a back 5. So clearly, it was not clear what the idea was. Clearly was not evident. Alonso, there's been some talk that Inter Miami needs reinforcements, that they need to better build around Messi. They need to get him some players that maybe better suit him or better suit what this team can do. Doesn't this team already have Suarez, Busquets, and Jordi Alba? I mean, how much more help does Messi need in a Major League Soccer that has a salary cap and a salary budget? I mean, there's rumors, and I've reported it, for a while now, and I've heard it since the winter, that Di Maria is a very serious option to be brought in for this team for obvious reasons. Argentina national team member, friend of Lionel Messi.
Yeah, even Benfica say they're not going to renew him, and you broke the news. So if you see anybody else breaking the news for Di Maria, just start from company. So did it 1st of January.
But that said, I mean, how much more help does he need? Like, how much more help?
Well, he needs 3 positions. He needs players. Right back, 2 center backs. Forget about Cannavaro, el otro, Messi, Falcón. No, Allen, el Cannavaro en la MLS.
El Cannavaro en la MLS.
No, bro, come on. Forget about those 2 center backs. Bro, I mean, you said in this league, the referees are not that great, but the defense are not that great either. And the teams spend more money in the offensive players.
Yes.
Luis Muriel, out of shape, out of his professional weight, create a nightmare for Peluca Falcón. He was going straight hair instead of with his curly hair. So you need center backs. You need in a right back, because if you're gonna have Jordi Alba, you need a right back that at least not technical like him, but fast. In that way, and I like Bright. I don't like Telasco Segovia. I think he's just a hype. But you need another player with experience in that position.
I just think, I think it's, I mean, bringing in more talent will of course help.
No, not talented, but like.
But I don't think it's like, if you bring in Di Maria, I think it's going to help. Obviously, you're even much more talented.
Of course.
But I don't know if it solves the issues you have. I don't know if it solves the issues.
No, because you need other positions. Okay, let's say you play LAFC
I think a lot of the issues also start with Mascherano. I mean, so
Mascherano is number 1.
So what we're saying here is that la única manera que gane el equipo de Mascherano es si tiene 80% más talento que el resto de los equipos.
But what Mascherano, no, of course, you put me there too. Listen, what Mascherano have done to prove that he's a good coach? Nothing. You fighting to stay in playoff position. You got disqualified from CONCACAF, and the format for playoff for CONCACAF Champions League was built to, I don't want to say to help you, but it was built for an Inter Miami to get an easy way to the final, and they couldn't. You couldn't. So Mascherano needs to leave. But now the big talk is Jorge Mas has a power, of course, but the guts to tell, hey, Mascherano, I know you mentioned friends, you need to go. I don't know. We don't know. I just said he has a businessman. He's sure.
Leo Guerra in the comment section says, next 6 games, Philly, Montreal, Columbus, 3 World Cup games. Might get something against Montreal. Other than that,
yeah, maybe Montreal, that's it. Yeah.
Could be looking at a nasty losing
Columbus, look. And this is why I say
they beat Columbus earlier this season.
Yeah, but people that Inter Miami fans that probably don't know Columbus that well, Wilfred Nancy, the head coach, he lost Cucho Hernandez, the best player in Columbus. They lost Christian Ramirez to LA Galaxy, probably one of the best power subs in the league. You know, who they lost to? It was Rossi and those 2 right now. And look, the team is still good. The team is still fighting for first place. So it's the coach. But it's not. But bottom line, what Mascherano is doing is not a surprise. If you think, oh my God, I can't understand Mascherano. No. You need to understand, because he hasn't done nothing in his career as a coach to say no. You know, maybe Tata Martino I could understand, but not Mascherano. We knew he screwed with the national Argentina youth level. What makes you think that he came here? It's because Messi's friend. That's all. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm breaking your corazón, but that's how it is. He didn't do no merit. The corazón. No, no merit to earn this position.
All right, to start wrapping up on this show, we've had a lengthy discussion. There was some news in the last few days. One is that William Yarborough, the American-Mexican goalkeeper who has played for the U.S. men's national team, is
What's
on
name?
the radar. William Yarborough. He's a goalkeeper. He's on Inter Miami's radar to be signed as probably the number 2, while Drake Callender is still recovering from his
sports hernia.
Sports hernia. Well, obviously Inter Miami needs another goalkeeper, right? They have Oscar Ustari and Rocco Rios Novo. They don't have a third goalkeeper, and they probably need a better number 2 goalkeeper behind Ustari, because if something happens to Ustari and you're at the Club World Cup, I mean, I know that Rocco Rios Novo has his legions of fans that like to make comments and say he should be the starter, but realistically speaking, he's not ready for that yet. So William Yarborough, rumored to be signing with Inter Miami. One player that did actually sign with Inter Miami was Jordi Alba. He signed a contract extension through 2027 last Friday after we recorded the most recent episode. And of course, a lot of people try to put 2 and 2 together and say, well, if Jordi Alba signing through 2027, does that mean Messi is signing through 2027? This is what Jordi Alba said last week with regards to that topic.
Bueno, al final la renovación soy yo, ¿no? Yo no renuevo por nadie, ni está claro que ojalá que se quede Leo. Creo que es un jugador vital para nosotros y también obviamente para el club, pero bueno, yo al final pues tengo que mirar por mí y no por los demás, pero bueno, entiendo la preocupación vuestra y está claro que también para mí, obviamente, que se quede Leo, pues muchísimo mejor, ¿no? Creo que ya nos conocemos de muchísimos años, bueno, ya se ve en el campo pues el entendimiento que tenemos y para mí, ya lo he dicho muchas veces, que estando Leo, pues yo y cualquiera del equipo pues somos mejores jugadores, ¿no? Y creo que sería una buena noticia que Leo continuara, está claro.
So to wrap that up in a nutshell, he says that the decision he made was based off of just himself, that he's not making decisions based off other people, but that it's clear that he would like Messi to stay, that Messi makes him and all the other teammates better. And of course, it's clear that they would want Messi to stick around. Messi was asked after the game on Sunday about his future, about the negotiations, and Messi said no. He just answered no with regards to if there's anything he could share, or no updates. They don't want to talk about it. From what I hear, everything está bien encaminado. From what I've heard, everything's still moving ahead. All systems go. The announcement should be relatively soon. He's not going anywhere. You know, he'll be here to finish out his career. There's nowhere else for him to go. Now, could he go on loan at the start of next season, like we saw at some points from David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Landon Donovan in different moments, to start the year competing at a high level to try to be in the best shape and the best form possible heading into the 2026 World Cup? Absolutely. I could absolutely see that being an option. But with regards to his future, if you're concerned about him staying at Inter Miami, I would say don't be. Everything I hear from here locally is that it's just a matter of time. And it's all planned. It's all planned. You know, like season ticket renewals are coming up. Don't be surprised if you hear
Freedom Park.
Yeah. All right. Alonso, I think that's it. Unless you want to go back to this, my friend. If you want to waste 5 more minutes and you want to get angry again about this, because I don't think you know the letter of the law. I don't think you know the letter of the law.
Bro, it's interpretation, man. Come on.
No, I don't think you know the letter of the law, my friend.
You know, it's just a posture. But by the posture of your body, you can tell a lot of things. So clearly, Angulo was many things except by passing the ball to Galese.
Sean Callahan agrees with you. He says it wasn't a back pass. If it's a pass, if it's a pass to your teammate.
Look, again, 99% of the journalists in the press box covers Inter Miami.
No. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay, 1% was me. Okay, coming from Orlando. 99% of them, no one said, "Oh my God, look at the pass. So it was for Galese." No one knew what happened. Not even you.
No me vengas con 99%. We're not gonna talk about the people that make up the press box. We're not gonna talk about
No. But I'm saying, like, okay. Let's put it this way, right? The people that goes from the first seat on your right all the way
listen,
to
I'll just say this, man. I'm not
Michelle Kaufman.
I'm not
I
gonna
was
throw
the only one in the
anybody.
middle. No one said nothing, bro.
I'm not gonna.
Michelle didn't say nothing. Andrea, Jose Armando, Lizzy,
I mean,
el argentino de Olé.
honestly,
No one said nothing.
I'll be honest here. I saw the throw in. I see Messi's poor control, and then I looked down to
No, you told me, oh, look at the control. Say, I saw it.
Yeah, and so I didn't see the pass
What's
or
next?
the controller. I didn't see it. I saw the next thing I saw when I looked up to the field again was the long
lost
ball
ball.
from Galese going to Muriel and then the goal. That's what I saw. So I didn't see the controversial moment de por sí. I didn't see it.
I saw it.
in the
I saw
moment.
it. Armando
The
saw
letter
it
of
too.
the law. The letter of the law.
No, but
Bro, this is by the
really.
An indirect free kick is awarded to if a goalkeeper inside their penalty area commits any of the following offenses. I'm going to skip the first two. I'll just go to the third one. Touches the ball with the hand/arm. Unless the goalkeeper has clearly kicked or attempted to kick the ball to release it into play after it has been deliberately kicked to the goalkeeper by a teammate. Now, deliberately is the key word. Did Angulo deliberately try to play it to Galese? You could say no. It's okay. I understand it. But if he's trying to play a pass to any teammate, that's a deliberate attempt to keep possession. So it's just a matter of the interpretation of the law. It's not black and white. It's not clear. It's not clear.
So the interpretation was clearly there wasn't zero intention to play to Galese. And the example that you make from the midfielder to center back into the goalkeeper, that's a fully intention. Regardless of the pass wasn't meant for the goalkeeper. The intention is to play the ball to the goalkeeper by you being a fool and let the ball go through your legs.
But was he deliberately, though, trying to keep possession?
Who?
Angulo.
Who?
Angulo.
Oh, Angulo touched the ball to an empty space.
Yeah, so he just said, "Oh yeah, I just don't know what I'm doing." Ball to empty space.
I watch Orlando City. I cover. I'm gonna be there on Wednesday. I'm gonna be there Wednesday. Angulo is not a very technical player. He's an amazing person. Okay, he's an amazing winger. He crossed the ball. He has, but technically, sometimes it's his weakness. So I see Angulo. So he's so fast that probably he's thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna make this," and he gets enreda con los pies.
Pedri Potter says Messi should just walk off the pitch and refuse to play after another referee disaster class. Sean Callahan says it has to be intentional. This is what I would say to Sean Callahan. I agree. I agree. I agree 100% that there wasn't an intentional pass to Galese. I agree with that. But I do think that there is an intentional pass from Angulo to keep possession.
No.
It was not directed for Galese, but it was directed for a teammate. Now, again, that's why it's open. Look, we have a separate WhatsApp group chat.
But you're the only one that thinking that way.
No, can I finish? We have a separate se llama el WhatsApp group, se llama Periodistas Inter Miami. And it's not just the beat writers, like the regulars, Jose, Andrea, myself, and a couple of others. It's a much larger group of some of the media members that just go to the games. And I wanted, because we were going at it in our chat with Jose and Andrea. You three were ganging up on me today. So I posed the question, and you're not in this group actually. I posed the question in that chat, and oh man, it got everybody going. I poked the hornet's nest because it got the conversation.
What question going.
If it was a handball or not. Half of the people said yes. Some people said no. I'll say this. Did
you ask? No, but did you ask? Did you check the nationality? Who said yes?
Ay, por favor.
I'm asking you. Okay, when I talk about Galese, quiero la camiseta de Perú. So I'm asking you the same thing. Did you check Do you check
Bro,
the
your face,
nationality?
the computer screen just froze when you made that face.
Listen,
It was
but
very
do you
funny.
check? Come on, man. I told you. Okay, like you said, okay, I'm gonna say so you don't get in trouble. 80% of the people that go there go for Messi. Messi. Here, Messi.
Sean Callahan says, "What a freeze frame." Oh, su madre, qué buena.
So they don't want to complain against Messi.
Oh, no. Some people did say that they didn't see it as a handball. Some people did. That's what's a controversial play. It's not black or white. I will say it's not black or white. It's open for interpretation. It was open for interpretation. But what? We'll leave it there. Alonso, I'm going to screenshot that frozen. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna set it as your
minute
profile
124 for 25.
Yeah, I'm gonna set it as your profile picture on my cell phone.
An hour 24.
Dale pues. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We tried to dive a little bit more into the game. It's a regular week for Inter Miami, so we won't be back until next week unless something crazy happens, like a Messi announcement or something of the like. Although I don't think that will happen this week. But we'll be back next week. Inter Miami plays the Philadelphia Union this weekend. We didn't even preview the game. What changes could Mascherano make? I mean, sounds pretty clear cut that he still fully confides in Suarez. So I mean,
it's gonna be a hard game to describe for Mascherano because Philadelphia doesn't have stars, only Badibo from Israel. But then it's gonna be hard for Mascherano because Philadelphia is known for playing good football, but not having stars. So we'll see, man. It could be.
Do they win? Do they win?
No.
Do they win?
What they play Subaru? No. They don't play. They don't win. They're gonna win Montreal, but they're not gonna win in Philly.
Does he stay with the back five?
Bro, I think Philly plays close to Orlando City formation, if I'm not mistaken. So if he does a 5-9, he's gonna suffer, man. You're gonna waste players in the center back for no reason.
Javier01 says that game will be the last for Mascherano. Look, I think he sticks with the back five. I think he's going to be encouraged by the first half.
When they play, Wednesday or weekend?
No, the weekend. That's why we're not having another show.
US Open Cup.
It's a normal week for Inter Miami. So that's why I'm saying I think he's going to be encouraged enough to stick with the back five. The personnel, I mean, it's up in the air. It's up in the air.
The center backs are good. They got an Argentina guy who's good too. They got a 19-year-old goalkeeper. I don't know what happened to Blake. Maybe he's back next week. But
So
we'll see, man.
Ustari,
Falcón or Allen Luján.
No, is it Frey Chelo? Who starts at the
Luján.
right wing back spot?
Oh, probably Chelo because
I think he goes back to Chelo. I think he goes back to Chelo.
I don't know if Philly has the files of the wingers.
I think he goes back to Chelo. Then I think he goes the same.
The number 10 is good. I think
Luján, Falcón, Allen, Alba.
Hold up. You said Chelo. Oh, the 5. Okay.
And then I think
I don't know, like
Redondo, Busquets, Tadeo,
Segovia in the bench.
Suarez, Messi. I think Bright gets benched. But all right. I think he's gonna bring in Redondo. But that's just my opinion. All right.
But Bright's better than Redondo.
Sure, but I just have a feeling he's gonna continue to tweak. All right, we will leave it there. Maybe to Lasco, but then I think you don't have enough.
But invite your audience to follow you, to comment in the video, to say there was no hand, bad pass. If Mascherano needs to find another system, it will be the last game for Mascherano.
Yes, do all of that, people. Alonso has just preached the words. Giovanni Diaz says, and then they get killed. And we say Mascherano. All right. So with that, we are out. Alonso, thank you for your time.
Thank you
And
for your time, my friend.
Thank you for your
Thank you for your
pollo.
pollo.
It was delicious. Thank you for your pollo, causa.
Hey, man,
Delicious.
next time I go, I'm gonna start there. It's good pollo.
Delicious and free. Next time we'll bet something else. Next time we'll bet.
Look at this guy. Tell him you want to bet me. I told him to bet about the game. Like, no, I don't want to bet.
But why would I bet if I don't believe in the bet? That makes no sense.
Bro,
that's
come
just-
on, bro. It's a
that's just
clásico.
ridiculous.
You
So
go
why
one
should-
thing.
I'm not gonna bet for Inter Miami if I don't think that they're gonna win. That'd be a stupid bet.
No hard.
Sure. I mean, I'm not a fan. So next time we'll bet something different, like somebody wears a jersey or a goofy hat on the show.
no.
I know.
Hay que cuidar.
Leo Guerra says chicken
Chick-
nuggets.
Chicken
Bueno,
noodle
all right.
soup.
We will leave it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Give us a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching this after. If you're listening to this after, subscribe, follow the channel, help us out in that way. We'll continue to provide you weekly content. Club World Cup is coming up. We will be there. So we've got a lot of plans coming up for that. So for Alonso Contreras from Orlando, I am Franco Panizo from South Florida. You have been listening or watching Miami Total Football Radio, the show. We'll see if Inter Miami can get out of this crisis, if they can find some confidence this weekend. And we will talk to you guys again next week. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to
Thank
you
you for
soon.
your time.